My dear students, in this video, let us discuss the 12th lesson, Reproduction in Animals. This is the first part of the video of this lesson.
Introduction. Reproduction is the basic biological process by which organisms give birth to new organisms similar to themselves. Every living organism is the result of reproduction. The many known modes of reproduction are generally classified into sexual and asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction needs the involvement of two individuals of opposite sex. During sexual reproduction, the female produces eggs which will be fertilized by the spermatozoa released by male. An embryo is formed which develops into adult. Generally, higher complex organisms practice this method. During asexual reproduction, an individual can reproduce without the help of any other member of that species. Generally, lower, less complex organisms practice this method. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to highlight the importance of reproduction, describe the modes of reproduction in animals, compare the merits and demerits of sexual and asexual reproduction, characterize the human reproductive organs, mention the types of fertilization in animals, differentiate oviparous and viviparous animals, illustrate the process of in vitro fertilization, explain the phenomenon of cloning. Human reproductive system. Male. In males, the sex organs or genitals are located both inside and outside the pelvis. The male genitals include the testicles or testes. In a boy who has reached sexual maturity, the two testicles or testes produce and store millions of tiny sperm cells. The testicles also produce hormones including testosterone. Testosterone is that hormone that causes boys to develop deeper voices, bigger muscles, and body and facial hair, and it also stimulates the production of sperm. The duct system. Alongside the testicles are the epididymis and the vas deferens, which make up the duct system of the male reproductive organs. The vas deferens is a muscular tube that passes upward alongside the testicles and transports the sperm containing fluid called semen. The epididymis is a set of coiled tubes, one for each testicle, that connects to the vas deferens. Scrotum. The epididymis and the testicles hang in a pouch-like structure outside the pelvis called the scrotum. This bag of skin helps to regulate the temperature of testicles, which need to be kept cooler than the body temperature to produce sperm. The scrotum changes size to maintain the right temperature. When the body is cold, the scrotum shrinks and becomes tighter to hold in body heat. When it is warm, the scrotum becomes larger and more floppy to get rid of extra heat. The accessory glands. The accessory glands, including the seminal vesicles and the prostate gland, provide fluids that lubricate the duct system and nourish the sperm. The urethra. The urethra is the channel that carries the semen to the outside of the body through the penis. The urethra is also part of the urinary system because it is also the channel through which urine passes as it leaves the bladder and exits the body. The penis. The penis is the ejaculatory organ through which the semen would be ejaculated. Human reproductive system. Female. The human female has reproductive system located entirely in the lowest part of the abdomen. The external part of the female reproductive organs include the vulva, which means covering, The labia, which means lips, are the two pairs of skin flaps that surround the vaginal opening. The clitoris, a small sensory organ located toward the front of the vulva where the folds of the labia join. A female's internal reproductive organs include the vagina, a muscular hollow tube that extends from the vaginal opening to the uterus. It has several functions. For sexual intercourse, as the pathway that a baby takes out of a woman's body during childbirth, and as the route for the menstrual blood, the period, to leave the body from the uterus. The cervix, that connects the vagina with the uterus or womb. The cervix has strong, thick walls. The opening of the cervix is very small. During childbirth, the cervix can expand to allow a baby to pass. The uterus, shaped like an upside-down pear, with a thick lining and muscular walls that contains some of the strongest muscles in the female body. These muscles expand and contract to accommodate a growing fetus and then help push the baby out during labor. The fallopian tubes, 2 in number, each attached to a side of the uterus. Within each tube is a tiny passageway, and at the other end of each tube is a fringed area that looks like a funnel. The ovaries, 2 oval-shaped organs that lie to the upper right and left of the uterus. They produce, store, and release eggs into the fallopian tubes in the process called ovulation. Human reproduction, fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of male and female gametes to produce a new organism. In animals, the process involves a sperm fusing with an ovum, which leads to the formation of zygote. Types of fertilization. In some animal species, the process can occur within the body of the female. This is called internal fertilization. Example, human beings. In some animal species, the process occurs outside the body of the female, which is called external fertilization. Example, frogs and fishes. Human reproduction, development of embryo. As a result of fertilization, a zygote is formed. This carries the genetic information of both its parents, the father and the mother. This single-cell zygote starts dividing repeatedly and develops as an embryo. The embryo at an advanced stage is called fetus. In humans, the fetal stage begins about 8 weeks after fertilization, when the major structures and organ systems have formed.
In this part of the video, we have studied about reproduction, sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, and reproductive organs of male and female, and about fertilization. Hope you all understood.